All right. It's the sound of another Malarkey Hour coming right at you. I'm your host, Matt, and with me, my co-host, John. What's going, sir?
What's up?
All right, John. Let's get started. Let's jump right into it because you know me, John. The action is the juice for me. So
Yeah.
let's start off this week's episode with a segment I like to call.
I gambled today. The juice was the juice.
The juice was the juice. This segment I like to call all-time favorite movie. This is where we talk about one of our all-time favorite movies. So me and you, we have some movies in common that we like.
How long can we go on about Weekend at Bernie's?
Right? Maybe an hour, 2 hours. This might be a two-parter Malarkey Hour. Now this week we're gonna talk about one of our movies that this is probably one of the movies that we quote a lot. I would say every other conversation we probably bring up a quote.
I think you're over exaggerating, but yes.
And that movie is the 1995 action drama Heat, directed by Michael Mann.
As much as I enjoy the movie, I love the movie. Yeah, I'm not gonna know as much about it as you.
Starring Robert De Niro and Al Pacino in the first movie that ever saw them in the same scene together. Now, this is not the first movie with both of them. The first movie with both of them was Godfather Part 2, but they never shared a scene together since Robert De Niro was playing the younger version of Al Pacino's father.
Both, what's his name? Don Corleone.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Robert De Niro was playing a young Don Corleone.
What's the old guy?
Marlon Brando.
They both won an Oscar.
Yeah, they both won an Oscar for the same character. Yeah.
It's a weird thing, right?
Yeah, it is a very weird thing.
Yeah.
But so that was the first movie. That was the first movie that they were into together, but they didn't share a scene. So Heat was the first time that they actually shared a scene. And it's one of the most famous scenes in movie history. Yeah. The coffee shop scene, and we'll get to that in a moment. But this sprawling epic, John. This sprawling action epic directed by Michael Mann. Just one of those. It's one of those movies that, back in the day when people actually had cable, you're flipping channels, it's on, you're gonna watch until the end, wherever it's
kind of like Goodfellas.
Yeah, wherever it's at, it could be oh crap, or the shootout's about to happen. Oh, I gotta watch the rest of this movie, or oh crap, this is the one where they meet up in that empty drive-in. Oh, I gotta watch this scene.
Right.
Like it doesn't matter where it's at. You're like, oh, I know exactly where this is at. I need to watch the rest of this movie. And it's a long movie.
Right.
It's a 2 hour and 50-minute movie.
Some of those movies where I saw it pretty young, but and then after that I probably saw it a few more times, and then it's like kind of like if it's on, you just kind of watch it wherever it's at.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's just like you can just kind of piece it all together after a while. Yeah,
and it's fun. It's one of those, like, it's a long movie. It feels long, but it's not. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
like I'm never bored with it.
2:45 or so.
Yeah, like 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
So it feels like you feel it, but it doesn't feel like you're bored ever. Like every scene is, Right. There's never a wasted scene. It's never like, oh, you could have probably cut this, or you probably could have cut that.
Yeah. It's actually all. Yeah, it's good. It's very, very good.
So the movie's about a group of thieves, professional thieves, led by Robert De Niro's character, Neil McCauley.
Right.
And they are being pursued by a robbery homicide lieutenant played by Al Pacino, who plays Vincent Hanna. And they're both really good at their jobs.
Very good at the jobs.
And you know what? As I was rewatching it this week to prepare for this podcast, one of the things that I took note of is this movie really is about men who want to be good at their jobs, and men who aren't good at the jobs, and how those men who aren't good at their jobs affect the men who want to be really good at their jobs.
Yeah, they're very. It's the perfect example of that whole like, oh, you're not so different, you and I. But they don't really say it like that.
Yeah.
They just show it.
They just show it. So, you see Neil McCauley, the way he prepares for heist, It's very meticulous. He buys books about metals. I think it's mad when somebody asks him,
like, "Hey, lady, why are you so interested in what I read and what I do?"
Yeah,
I forgot how it goes.
So, and then you see Al Pacino's character, who, you know, in that first scene in the beginning, where we sort of get not introduced to him, but you get introduced to him and his essentially his division after the initial heist in the beginning, where Neil McCauley and his crew, they robbed that.
Just say De Niro, Pacino.
Yeah.
When Macaulay is De Niro.
Yeah, De Niro. Yeah, so we're De Niro's crew. They do elaborate heist in the beginning of the movie, and this opens the movie essentially. This big heist on this armor truck where they steal all these bearer bonds. And then, you know, afterwards, Al Pacino shows up and he's investigating the scene, and he's like, "These guys are good." Like, you know, it's like, once it escalated to murder one, they didn't hesitate to shoot the third guy. So
yeah.
Really
like,
good at his job.
Like the ones that we make fun of, where they just show up, like they just wake up out of bed and everybody's been there for like 4 hours. They're like, "He entered through here and then he did this."
Yeah. But you get the sense
he doesn't do a lot of that, but it's kind of like, you know.
Yeah, you get the sense he's on top of his game, John. Like he just
he's good at his job, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like he shows up and he's he knows exactly, like, hey, these guys. He's able to assess the scene and know, hey, you know, these guys mean business. We're not dealing with, you know, a Mickey Mouse crew. We're dealing with guys who are professionals. They don't hesitate. And you see it all, you know, throughout the whole movie, where Robert De Niro's character, when he's presented with a situation, he's seen it before and he knows exactly how to react, and he's not gonna waste any time. And both of them are guys who don't suffer fools easily. If they feel like you are wasting their time, they are not shy to let you know. And you know that I think that's one of those that's one of the things that make this movie, you know, it makes this movie so good. You get just time after time example of men who want to do their job well. You know, whether
they're both like incapable of having like a real relationship with like a wife or girlfriend.
Exactly. Like there's at one point, John Voight's character, the guy with the long, ugly, stringy hair and the big long mustache. He's talking to Robert De Niro's character, and he's like, you know, he got some information on Al Pacino's, you know, character, and he's like, you know, this guy, like, he's reading him his whole profile, and he's like, this guy's been through 2 divorces. It's like, you think this guy looks like a guy who likes to stay home? It's like, yeah, this guy's dedicated to his job. He's gonna prowl night and day.
It's weird how John Voight has he just has these weird resources.
Yeah,
like they don't really explain it. It's just like, I can get it. What do you need?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he essentially, it looks like he sets up De Niro with his next job. Like he's like, hey, I got his next job for you.
Yeah, it's just like he's very well networked in the criminal underground. Kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I had a car that belonged to John Voight. See who gets that obscure reference.
But yeah, you get the sense that Robert De Niro's character is the same way. He's not really attached with anybody in the beginning of the film. In fact, the film opens in a subway. He's getting off the subway. He is in a you know what I found interesting? So he's getting out of the subway. He's already dressed for work. He has an ambulance.
Because he's also an EMT, right?
He's also an EMT. But that's interesting, right? So it's all about people working, right? It's all about people. They're tied to their job. Every character,
they're obsessed with the details of the crime.
And it's funny, every character in this movie has a job tied to them. Like even characters you might not think, you know, what do they do? Like they'll tell you what they do. Even the guy that not Charlize Theron. What's her name? Ashley Judd's character.
She looks like Charlize Theron in the movie.
Yeah, Ashley Judd's character's having an affair with Hank Azaria's character. Like they tell you what he does. He's a liquor wholesaler. Salesman, right?
I'm the voice of Mo, the bartender on The Simpsons.
Yeah, but even him, they give him an occupation. Like I think this movie is about, you know, people being identified with their jobs, and they're good at their jobs. The people who really care.
I mean, to dumb it down, at the end of the day, it's a really cool crime heist movie.
Yeah.
I mean, for people who haven't seen it, I would say it's like a much better version of The Town, that movie Ben Affleck made. No, but you can tell it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Ben Affleck totally just like took Heat, and he's like, "You want to make a shitty version of Heat?"
Actually, there's a little detail that I like. It's funny he took from Heat, and
Is it maybe the same one we're thinking of? You go ahead.
Okay, so there's this one thing that I love that Michael Mann does in Heat that a lot of action movies before then, and even some of them after it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why the typical action character does, but you ever notice, like, especially in older movies, like when they're characters shooting outside, like they're shooting from a car and they're driving, or they're in the passenger in the car, they'll stick their gun out the window, right?
Oh, they shoot through the glass.
But in this one, they should shoot through the glass. Like, why are you gonna shoot outside your window? You're more likely to miss.
Inaccurate.
Yeah, so you should shoot through the window. I mean, the bullet's gonna go through the window,
especially with those guns they have.
Yeah,
they're like giant. Yeah, high powered.
Yeah, so it's a minor detail, but it makes it different because you never really seen that before.
It's funny how he doesn't panic, De Niro.
No,
like even.
Well, I'm saying he's prepared for every situation, right? Yeah. So in the town, I noticed that his characters do the same thing. They shoot through the window.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
The Town is not a bad movie.
No.
It's just that it's not Heat.
No, it's not,
it's not Heat at all.
Quentin Tarantino, the director, he made a great point about The Town. He said the thing that The Town was missing. And it could have been a great movie, but he said the thing with The Town is all the characters were too pretty.
You've told me this before.
Yeah,
it's very true.
It's very true. The ugliest character, probably the ugliest character in the whole movie, is Jeremy Renner's character,
which most girls think is hot.
Yeah,
but Avengers Jeremy.
But like the town whore, she's hot. Ben Affleck's a good looking guy. Yeah, like there's no character actors in this movie. Even John Hamm is like,
yeah.
It's like,
are you like the good-looking FBI director?
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, but Heat is filled with nothing but character actor faces. Like you got John Voight's face. You got Tom Noonan's face, the guy who gives them the.
Like these guys have seen some shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like they feel like real people, right?
Yeah.
You got Tom Noonan's character, the guy who's able to grab stuff that's in the air. You just gotta know how to grab it, John.
Oh yeah.
The guy who gives them the bank plants, guys like that. Like
when he's sitting outside with the.
He's one scene.
He's in a wheelchair. Right?
He's in a wheelchair. It's one scene, but he's a memorable character. You got the black guy in that terrible neighborhood where Al Pacino's character has to come in. It looks like a third world country, and what is his name? I forgot. Torino. The guy where at the end he goes, "Don't waste my motherfucking time."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like guys like that. Like he's memorable. Like he's funny. He's like but like it's stuff like that. Like Heat is filled with nothing but those type of actors. Even the leading actors are character actors. Like Pacino and De Niro, they're not your typical leading, good-looking men. Like they're character actors.
Especially at
that point in their career.
Yeah, it's like they're already older.
Yeah. So like that's the thing that's different between Heat and The Town, where the Heat felt like those were real. They felt like there were bank robbers and cops, all of them.
Well, it felt like realistic.
Yeah.
Just a lot. It's funny. Until recently, I didn't even realize Henry Rollins was the guy in the movie.
Yeah.
He's got it. Yeah, you guys watch it. If you've seen The Town, that's what it is. The Town's not a bad movie, but then watch Heat and you'll be like, The Town is terrible. It's almost like when I watched, I watched Goodfellas, and then it just happened to be on, and they started showing that. What's that Johnny Depp one? Blow.
Oh, Blow, yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
Blow's like a not as good version of Goodfellas.
It's not even close.
Yeah. Or even like even a lesser Donnie Brasco.
Yeah. Even though that's not bad.
Yeah, I like Donnie Brasco. So, all right, John. So let's start listing some of our favorite things. What for you is your favorite scene in the whole movie?
I think most people like the gun shootout outside the bank
at the end.
It's kind of the end, I guess.
Yeah.
It's closer to the end than the beginning.
Yeah.
When you say the end, you mean like when there's like an hour left, an hour and a half?
You know what? I timed it. It's actually a little bit. There's like 45 minutes left
after the gunshot.
Yeah, after the gun. Yeah, you don't realize there's all this other.
It feels like it's like the middle.
Yeah. So
a long movie.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? There's 3 big action set pieces to this movie. Even though the whole movie feels like it's constant action, there's really only 3 major action set pieces. There's the one in the beginning where they
I know the second 2.
Where they rob the armory truck, the bearer bonds.
When they pick up Rain Girl.
Where they pick up Rain Girl. I love how that scene begins. Like Rain Girl's like he's just like this virus, right? That just appears in their life.
Yeah.
Like demanding more coffee.
And then he walks off and doesn't take the coffee.
Right? Yeah, you know what? I said the same thing. It's like, hey, he's bitching about like, I want more free coffee, and then he just takes off. Like, yeah.
Like,
I do the same thing too. I laughed when I was, yeah. So it starts with Rango. He won't shut the fuck up.
Okay, so we're agreed on this. He didn't like show up to the diner after that, right? They had to have kept him, right?
Right after the
because it was later that night. They had to have.
It seems like
together.
it. So the way okay, so the first shootout is they're stealing the bearer bonds from the armored truck, and then they blow up the hospital van, right? What do you call it? The ambulance, right?
Yeah.
It's actually more of like a van. Was it an ambulance, a van, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
So then you see De Niro talking to Jon Voight's character, and Jon Voight's like, "What happened?" He's like, "I'll take care of it." It's like,
do you do Jon Voight impressions for a living?
No.
Oh, okay.
Did you close your eyes and feel like yeah? And so
tour dates and one man Jon Voight.
You get the three people who can't wait to see their favorite actor. De Niro meets with Jon Voight, and then he meets up with the guys. Wingro's eating a piece of pie, and
sounds like Wingro. How do you spell it? Is it Rangro or Wangro?
Wingro, Waingro.
Okay, I got it.
So Wingro's another example. Like I was talking about earlier about men being good at their jobs. Wingro's not somebody who's good at his job.
I was gonna say, where'd they get him? They don't tell you.
They never tell you, right? Like I said, he's just this virus that appears in their life and like fucks with their whole operation.
Yeah.
But that's what pisses off De Niro. He hates people who aren't good at their jobs. Like he respects his other crew members because they're good at their jobs. They take their job seriously. This guy doesn't. He mouths off. He shoots one of the guards because he just didn't like the way the guy was looking at him. Like he fucks their whole operation.
Shooting all the guards, right?
Yeah, they have to.
Did he shoot them all, or did they finish the last one because he screwed up?
He shoots the first guy.
Yeah.
And then the second guy pulls out his gun.
Yeah. So
and bang 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 bang.
You remember who shoots the second guy? Was it also Rangro?
It might have been one of the other guys.
I think it was, but they had to.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have to, but it was this. For what they're trying to get away with, they had to.
And according to Wangro, he had to get it on, man, because the guy was making a move. He had to get it on.
The guy was just annoying him.
He had to get it on, man. The guy was making a move, John.
That's what he kept saying. I had to get it on.
I had to get it on, man.
I had to get it on. I'm like, what are you talking about? Dude, it's funny though because they appear like they all meet at that coffee shop later that night, the diner.
Wangro's eating this fucking piece of pie.
Dude, he's just slamming his head.
Oh, I love that, right?
In public, De Niro's just slamming the guy's head against.
I love
the table.
The subtle look that Tom Sizemore character gives that trucker-looking guy. He's like, he looks over and he leans his head over
enough to where it's like none of my business.
Yeah, and he's like, he just goes back reading his newspaper. Such a awesome subtle thing. Like this is how like fucking scary these guys are. Like this guy doesn't even know who he is, but that look he gave him, he's like, oh, I'm not gonna fuck with this guy. Like, I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
So,
but my thing is like, it's still funny. It's like it was late that night, and you're like, did they? There's no way they had to have kept him and been like, we're going to this diner or going to this. Yeah.
One would imagine, yeah.
Because I'm like, hey guys, I'll meet you there. And they're like, oh guys, I don't feel good. Can we do this tomorrow?
Well,
when I'm in another country.
Well, the one thing you can argue though is the logistics is Wingro does want his money though. So
you're right.
So De Niro went
right.
out to like divvy up the count, like who's gonna get what.
As long as you play your cards, like as long as he doesn't feel like there's a threat.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's like, oh, maybe they'll dock some of my pay.
Yeah.
Like, but they're gonna kill him.
Yeah, which they plan to. I mean,
and then a cop car.
They open the trunk and it's already lined with plastic.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? Like Wangro or Wangro, right?
Wangro, yeah.
He already goes like, we're gonna kill you. Basically, he doesn't say it like that.
Yeah,
but it's like, and he just casually walks outside with him.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
well, maybe he's just that dumb though. Like, you don't think so? I mean, I guess he does get his head slammed down, right?
Yeah, but I mean, after that, he's like, we're gonna make him go away. We're gonna make whatever he says.
Well, De Niro says like, I already cut up his part out of ours, so we can get on the fuck out of our life. Like he's done with them. So he's like, I'm willing to put up the money up front because they still have to launder these bearer bonds. It's not cash.
Yeah.
So like De Niro's like willing to front, like that's his excuse. Like, I'm gonna front the cash to get rid of this guy. I'll give him his cut and like we're gonna get rid of him. Well, obviously that's not what he was gonna do.
Yeah, but he tells him in the diner like we're gonna kill you.
No, he doesn't tell him.
Oh, he doesn't?
No, he says I already divvied up his cut.
I thought he said we're gonna get rid of him.
No. So we could get rid of him. Like we're gonna divvy up his cut. We'll pay him off so we get rid of this piece of shit. You know?
I know he doesn't say kill, but I thought he implied.
No.
I thought he implied.
I don't think Waingro would have gone that. You know.
I was gonna say it's just funny how he's just like, all right, let's go outside.
No, yeah, he thinks they're gonna pay him. Like he thinks he's gonna get his cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But De Niro had other plans.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, lucky for
they,
Waingro that cop came around.
Yeah, and then it's a little sloppy of them. Where'd he go?
Yeah.
Anyone seen Waingro? It's like just run.
And he disappears for like a good chunk of the movie. That's what's crazy about it. Like he's gone for a good hour. Like you don't see Waingro again for another hour.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what's crazy about that. But
the whole movie, like, where's Waingro?
But I mean, the guy was making a move, John.
Did you ever read those Where's Waingro books when you were a kid?
Yes. So we got the and then we start getting to know a little bit of the characters, right? The middle of the movie, it's very well timed. It's very well paced. You get to meet Neo, his home life. He really doesn't have any. He doesn't even have furniture.
You're talking about Pacino.
No, I'm talking about De Niro.
De Niro, okay.
Like he doesn't even have furniture in his fucking house.
As I said, dude, like just say Pacino, De Niro.
Yeah, I said De Niro. Yeah.
Okay, dude, he's got such a nice apartment though.
Yeah, but there's nothing in it.
I know.
Like remember at one point, like Val Kilmer says
it is like a metaphor for him, right?
Yeah,
or like it is like a thing. It's like this guy doesn't like. He's not about stuff. Like I think he just likes the view. He likes to be. He likes to have. He likes to be by himself.
Well, he
it
does.
Seems like he has an isolated life. He has an isolated apartment.
Remember that?
Like he probably doesn't go home and play like Nintendo.
Well, like
then that'd be weird.
well, he does tell Val Kilmer's character at one point. He goes that about that guy in jail. He tells him, "Don't let yourself get attached to anything you're not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner." So like that's De Niro's.
Every time they say heat, you gotta drink.
Yeah, they say heat a couple times. Yeah.
They say it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. So like for him, that's what it is.
They say that quote like 2 or 3 times, right?
No, it's just once.
Is it just once?
Yeah, it's just once.
Oh, okay, because I know it's a guy in prison that told him, right?
Yeah, the guy in prison.
Yeah.
So like essentially that's what he's saying. He's not gonna stay there long.
The heat.
Yeah.
Heat.
Like he's not gonna stay there for long. I remember Val Kilmer's like, when you get furniture? He's like, when I get around to it. Like it's just like it's not his priority at that point in time. Like his priority is the next shop.
And what makes the movie cooler is like they completely like make LA look way cooler than it is. No offense to LA, but it's just like maybe it is LA, right?
Well, that's Michael Mann's like genius, right?
Yeah.
Every one of his movies he finds the place. Like I was mentioning earlier. I was mentioning earlier with that fucking crazy neighborhood. Like it was like a third world country. It's like, where's that in LA, right? Like
you forget how big LA is.
Yeah, LA's huge, right? Like the what was that club that he goes to?
He's got that great view of the city, right?
Yeah.
In his apartment.
It looks what he says, it looks like the like he's talking about Fiji, and he's saying like these what do they call it? These
the water?
These iridescent algae, and he says like
Fiji water is much better.
Yeah, and he goes they come out once a year, and he goes it looks like this. And like when you see that shot of the lights, it looks like an ocean. Like yeah, I can see like why he's comparing it to that. It looks fucking beautiful, right?
Yeah.
So
this guy doesn't even have lights in his apartment in the whole movie. It's like it's just the sun coming through.
Yeah.
And at night it's just like enough moonlight to light his apartment.
Well, that shot, right, when we first get introduced to his apartment when he walks in.
Yeah.
And
that's what I was saying. This is when you first see like, oh, he's got a nice view.
Yeah.
Like you figure like, oh, this guy like makes money. Like this criminal makes money. Like he's not. He even says, "Do I look like a guy knocking off like 7-Elevens?" Remember?
Yeah.
Like, no,
with the Born to Lose tattoo.
Yeah. And then I think Pacino goes, "No, you do not."
Yeah. Actually, that shot. Remember that shot? It's a very famous shot in the movie where De Niro puts his gun down on the table and he walks to the window and he puts his hand up like this and he's looking on the ocean. Like it's actually like Michael Mann saw this painting. It's called Pacific, and it's by this Canadian painter Alex Colville, and that's his inspiration. So for people out there listening, look up Pacific by Alex Colville, and it's a very, very eerily similar to that shot in Heat where it's a guy without his shirt. He's looking out the ocean. He has a gun on the table. So Michael Mann took inspiration from that painting and recreated it for that scene where De Niro's character walks into his apartment for the first time.
Yeah.
but yeah, you get to see De Niro's sort of Spartan lifestyle. You get introduced to Pacino's lifestyle, where he's living with his third wife and his stepdaughter, and it's his wife's ex-husband's house. What do you call it? Deck tech.
Yeah, deck tech.
That tech.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, something like that. Like that.
You get to see, dude. He's got a great television set. I mean, like, I don't even know where to get one of those.
Right. You also get introduced to Val Kilmer's character's home life. He's married with a kid of his own, his little boy.
Gambling addict.
Huge gambling problem. Nice house, but you can tell, like, hey, he's not bringing, like, what did he say? He's not.
Speaking of which,
there's not enough
Dallas
steaks.
didn't cover the spread tonight.
Yeah, there's not enough steaks in the fridge, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's his wife's issue with him.
And that's his kid, right?
That's his kid, yeah.
Yeah.
But he loves her. Like, you get the sense he really loves her.
Yeah, well, he says that it's like my whole world.
My son rises. The sun rises and sets with her, man. Like when
and then there was like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, he gets it, but he's just like, that's not him.
Yeah.
Like he's like, remember, it's like a weird thing where they're all
like he has issues with his wife, but like it's like, what does Ashley Judd's character describe it at one point when De Niro's asked, like, what's wrong? He goes, husband and wife stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what it is. It's like, you're gonna have issues, but like, she loves him, he loves her. They have issues. Like, I mean, obviously he's not the most perfect guy in the world. He robs banks and gambles away all their money.
Right.
So it's like, it's not it's understandable why
yeah,
she's.
but it's like they have that. Is it a birthday party or dinner together?
Yeah, well, all the thieves, right? All the wives' dinner. I love that scene, like the wives' dinner.
Yeah,
the Chinese restaurant,
and it's like De Niro's like the outcast because he's the only one without a wife or family.
Yeah, he calls Edie on the phone.
Yeah, he calls the chick he just met because he's like, yeah, he feels like something's missing from his life.
And she's like, I thought it was just a one time thing. He's like, not for me, not for me.
Yeah. But yeah, they're both they are similar, and they do that in a lot of movies, but this one does it very well.
Yeah.
Like, it's like fuck.
Well, it's like De Niro at one point tells Edie, and he's like, do you travel a lot? He's like, yeah. It's like, traveling doesn't that make you lonely? He goes, I am alone. I'm not lonely. Like, for him, it's like, it's okay to be alone, but like, I think he realizes at a certain point he wants companionship, even though he might not say it, directly. Like, at one point he does ask her after that second night. He's like, hey, come with me to Fiji. Yeah. And she's like, well, I can't do that. It's like, yeah, of course you can. Just do it.
I want to see where they make the bottled water.
Yeah. So like, he's very cognizant of the need for companionship. Like, I don't think he's completely closed off to that idea, but he knows his work is not going to let him do it. And it goes back to that, right? You see in Al Pacino's character, he works so much that his home life is crumbling apart. His wife is growing resentful towards him. This is his third marriage. But this guy is dedicated to his job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if when she gets mad at him because the chicken got overcooked, like, because
some sick fuck.
Yeah.
Put his baby in a microwave.
Yeah, it's like
whatever he says, right?
Yeah, it's like for him, it's like, I have this job like that you don't realize I come home with this weight on me. Then you don't get it. You don't get it. You need to be more understanding, and she doesn't get it. And you know what? You can see it from both sides. Like, she's not there. She doesn't get how hard his job is, and you know what? For him, he doesn't get how lonely she gets. Like, it's tough on marriages. Like, when somebody's dedicated to their
you already
job.
know they've both been, like, she has a kid with her ex-husband, right?
Yeah. Natalie Portman's character, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's tough. Like, and so it goes back to that. It's like, you have your job and you're dedicated to your job. It's sometimes your other relationships are going to suffer. It's just, there's not enough hours in the day, So earlier I asked you for your favorite scene. You mentioned the last shootout. There's
I didn't mention the last shootout. Well, I said I did mention the first the big shootout.
Yeah, the big shootout.
But I think everybody's gonna say the diner. It's like, besides their favorite scene that's not an action.
So you think that's probably the two biggest ones for people?
Yes.
So, like I said, like there really is 3 action set pieces. The one in the beginning. And then you get a minor one. I always call it a minor one because it's in the middle of it where they meet Roger Van Zant, who's played by I forgot the actor's name. The guy from the Dark Knight, who plays a similar character. It's funny, right? So like I'll get to the Dark Knight in a bit because
Yeah.
we all know Dark Knight took a lot of inspiration from Heat.
You can see it.
Yeah. Oh, you can see it definitely.
The
So
little parts.
what's interesting is, so they had that scene where De Niro stole his bearer bonds in the beginning of the movie. That when he stole, when they stole it from the armored truck, it was this guy Van Zandt who's a corrupt it's like a investor, right, for like shady people, like offshore Cayman Island stuff.
I just call him the dirty banker.
Yeah, he's like a dirty banker, and he's gonna rebuy because obviously he's insured. He's gonna get, like they say, 100% back from the insurance company, and then he's gonna buy back his bearer bonds for 60 cents on the dollar.
But
right?
but I mean,
So he's gonna make 40 cents on top.
They put him in a win-win situation, but he did not agree.
He feels disrespected.
He didn't agree to that.
Yeah.
They just did it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's where
So it goes back-
William Fichtner.
Yeah, William Fichtner. So it goes back to a man in his job, right? For him, he feels like, hey, I know how to do my job. Don't tell me how to do my job.
Mhm.
You're gonna rob from me. So
Right.
like he feels disrespected. So that's why he reacts the way he reacts. He's like, kill those guys, but he doesn't realize who he's messing with. So that second action set piece, which it's underrated, I think, and it doesn't get brought up as much when people bring up Heat, but it's really underrated. It's beautiful shot, abandoned drive-in.
Right.
And you see the old pose where they will have like the speakers that you would put into your cars. And like
Right.
it's just a great shot. Abandoned, it's empty. Another like you mentioned earlier, LA never looked like as cool as Michael Mann makes it look. All these like great locations that he finds. He has the knack for finding in LA. Like here's another one. Like
Right.
this is such a great that overhead shot that
So let's not give the location manager any credit.
right.
Okay.
But that great overhead shot of like just all those empty
Yeah.
like pose, like that's such a great shot.
Yeah.
So there's a great action set piece set in that empty drive-in. But yeah, let's go back to so obviously people who mention their favorite scenes, it's always going to be either that big shootout at the end, towards the end, or the coffee scene. So let's
Right.
talk about the coffee scene. It's one of the most. It is the only scene where De Niro and Pacino actually talk the most. They're the first scene in history where those two actors met
Right.
and actually interacted.
Yeah. I actually have the dialogue in front of me. It's because there is some interesting stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, because there's weirdos that like know this stuff, and I'm like, I don't know.
So let's talk a little bit some of the interesting.
I just have that diner scene in front of me. That's
Let's talk about some interesting scene. There's some conspiracy about that coffee scene.
yeah, I heard that from
So there's talk that
podcast.
it's not really them together. That Pacino and De Niro couldn't stand each other supposedly, and that
it's all bullshit. Really.
yeah, you never see them together.
it's
But
a- it's
but
a-
it's them.
It's a dumb conspiracy theory because it's like you guys are working on this movie the whole time. It's like that probably took a night, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything how long it takes to film shit, but
Yeah.
you get that done in one day, one night, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's a great scene.
Yeah.
It's like they're both pros. It's like you guys couldn't get together for one night for one iconic scene.
Yeah. No, I really
and it's real.
yeah. So have you heard what Pacino said about that scene?
No.
He said they never rehearsed it.
Oh, cool.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because if you look at
It's
this scene,
it's so good.
there's a lot of subtle, like it's a lot of reaction shots, right? So Michael Mann does a great job in the editing room where he'll have one guy talking, but he won't have the camera on him. He'll have the camera on the other guy, and the other guy's just reacting. So like it's just De Niro like a tilt of the head, maybe like a nod of the head.
Doing the De Niro
Maybe, yeah.
chin thing, forehead thing.
Yeah, and it's same thing with Pacino. Like, so these guys they're sitting down to talk shop, right? They're telling each other this is what I do and this is what you do,
Right.
and it contradicts.
Because it makes it seem like Pacino's never seen anybody this good. Or it's very rare that he
It's very
sees
rare.
somebody
Yeah,
this good.
it's like I've never seen. Maybe this is what it is. I've never seen a guy as dedicated to his job as I am to mine, and so there's a mutual respect there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like I know you're guilty, but I don't have anything on you that it's worth arresting you for right now.
Yeah.
And I'm actually telling you, hey man, stop.
Well, obviously, right before that scene, it's where maybe like a scene or two before that is where Pacino and his guys get get caught. Like essentially, De Niro sets him up to.
There's so much movie in this movie.
So Pacino's like, "Are these guys good? Are these guys good?" He's like,
because they are.
He's like, "Where were they? You know what these guys were looking at?" He's like, the LAPD. You know?
Yeah, he's like,
so much respect for that guy.
He's saying like, oh, okay. He was like, well,
we got made.
Basically,
fellas.
De Niro is like, okay, De Niro's the bad guy who runs his crew. He's like, oh wait, they're on to us. Let's throw them off.
Yeah.
And Pacino's like, oh, they fooled us. They're really good. I haven't seen guys this good.
Yeah, we got made, fellas. And then
right
right after
you
that,
guys don't realize we're dealing with like super criminals.
You know what's interesting? So they get made right during the day, and he gets home, and his wife, she's getting ready. He's like, "Where are you going?" And she doesn't answer him. He's like, "Well, where are you going without me?" And she doesn't answer him, so he just leaves, and she's there left alone. And then the next shot, he's in a helicopter looking for De Niro, and then they find him, and he gets in a car and he goes after him. So it's interesting.
It's so
right?
cool how he just lands right.
Yeah, in the car.
Give me my car.
Yeah, and he just like goes after him in the highway. It's like
just pulls him over.
Yeah. De Niro's about to shoot him. Like
De Niro has his cocks his gun or grabs his gun.
That's such a little great sequence. Like he's like, you know what? Yeah, fuck my home life. I need to get back on the job. Like I need to talk to this guy. I have so much respect for this guy. It's like I'm gonna bury my head into my job. My marriage is
what do you say? I buy you a cup of coffee.
Yeah, my marriage is failing. Let me go have. And my marriage is failing so badly. I don't want to deal with my whole life. Let me go talk to this psychopath, and have coffee with them. That's crazy, right? The psychology.
Hey, I get along with you better than my bitchy wife.
But that's crazy, right?
That really is. What
it really is.
Yeah, I know. It sounds stupid.
These are damaged guys who they identify their whole lives to their jobs, and there's danger behind that, right? And I think that's what the movie speaks to. There's danger behind that. There's consequences behind that. Where if you define your whole life to your job, it's like, yeah, you're gonna be good at your job, but your other parts of your life are
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talk about some of our favorite scenes. Let's talk about some of our favorite, and this is the part that I love, and I think we identified the most with. Some of our favorite quotes.
Can't get them all, but yeah, there's a couple that stand out. You're gonna take.
So we mentioned the. Don't let yourself get attached to anything you're not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat. They feel the heat around the corner. What I like? Vincent Hanna says it to his wife. He's like, I say what I mean, I do what I say.
Right.
I love that one.
Yeah. I think my favorite, I'm going to take this one.
Go ahead.
Is when he's talking to that guy at the club, the black guy, the informant. And his brother.
Yeah, Tony Locke's character, right?
Yeah, and he's talking to the brother, right?
Yeah,
he wants.
That's another great scene, right? Like when he shows up, the lights are there. And it's like,
and Pacino looks so out of place in this club.
It's BJ's on Alvarado. I love that. It's like we'll meet you at BJ's on Alvarado.
And he's like, or is it cousin or brother?
It's his cousin.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And it's like his cousin doesn't want to tell him first. He goes, whatever. He goes, I get killed for telling you this shit. He's like, you're gonna get killed walking your doggy. I'm like, what the? He's so serious.
Well, it's another funny part about that scene is like the cousin's trying to essentially the cousin's trying to get favor from him. He's like, I'll give you information if you help me. Right. He wants him to take on a rival crew. Like it looks like he steals cars.
I think he said something like trying to rid yourself of your
competition. And he tells him this story about this guy he used to know in prison, and he met him outside the street, and he's like, I know he's doing jobs, and that's it. And Pacino's like, that's it?
You met it?
This is one of my favorite lines. He goes, that's it? He goes, you met an ex-con on the street. He's like, what do you want, a junior G-Man badge? It's such a great line.
This is something great fucking story. Amazing.
Yeah, great amazing story. You want a fucking junior G-Man badge? What are you gonna offer him? Don't waste my motherfucking time. I'm a busy guy.
Which he literally said that same afternoon. Don't waste my motherfucking time.
And he's so angry at the guy because he's trying to do his job, right? It goes back to he's a guy who wants to do his job well, and here's these obstacles to doing his job. Like at the end of the day, that's really.
Is it with Hank Azaria where he's like, he mentions the girl he's fucking having sex with?
Yeah.
He's like, who? And
it's like, what are you fucking out?
Who? What are you fucking out? It's just like.
And then obviously one of the most famous lines where he's like, I don't know why I got myself, tied up with this bitch. And Al Pacino's, do you want to take it? Al Pacino's reaction to him. It's like, it's because she's got a great ass, and you got your head all up in it.
Yes, that's fantastic.
Fun little backstory. That was improvised by Pacino.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah, if you look at Hank Azaria's reaction, that's a genuine reaction. Like Hank Azaria supposedly didn't realize I was coming, so when he goes, Jesus Christ, like that's him reacting to Pacino. Like he had no idea that Pacino was gonna say that line. And you can even see where Pacino sort of messes up because it looks like he's gonna say she's got a big ass, and he changes mid sentence and she's just great ass, and you could tell he's gonna say big instead of he says great.
You know what?
But I love that.
It does look like he's gonna say big. I noticed that when I've seen it a few times. And
Yeah.
Because like he kind of like it's like a half a hesitation.
Yeah, and he says great. But I love that Mango Man kept that take in there. Like, it doesn't matter he messed up. It's like whatever. Like we mentioned, don't waste my motherfucking time. I love this line when Neil McCauley is talking to Van Zant's character after Van Zant tried to have him killed. You know what I love about that scene that on the phone, Van Zant's like, yeah, what happened? My guy never called back. Like he's like acting like ignorant. Yeah, he's like, I don't know. Is everything okay? Like he knows what happened. He's scared to death. And Neil McCauley, ice cold delivery says, what am I doing? I'm talking to a blank telephone because there's a dead man on the other end of this fucking line. That's such a fucking cold ass line to tell somebody. Like, let me see another one. I mentioned at the top of this podcast. You know, for me, the action is the juice.
That's such a weird line.
Yeah, but I love it. It's such like I think I told you the other day. It's like a macho line that makes no fucking sense. But,
dude, I love when his wife is sleeping with that other guy because she's getting no attention for Pacino, whatever her reason is.
Oh yeah. Ralph,
Ralph. Yeah, and then Ralph's like, he's like, it's fine. Like it's just acting like it's fine for him to be there.
Yeah.
And Ralph stands up. Sit down, Ralph.
Yeah, I love how abusive they both are to Ralph. Sit down, Ralph.
Like I don't have it. Like I have it in front of me. That's like I don't know it word for word. It's like I'm very angry, Ralph. You know, you can ball my wife if she wants you to.
And her ex-husband, tag.
Let me just do it word for word. You can lounge around here on her sofa in her ex-husband's dead tech postmodernistic bullshit house if you want to. But you do not get to watch my fucking television set.
And then he hits the TV and grabs it.
Fucking grabs the TV, puts it in the car, and then fucking drives down the road with it and throws it out of the car in front of a bus stop.
He just doesn't want Ralph to be watching it.
That's fucking funny. They all look at him like, what the fuck? He just drops the TV out in the street and he like kicks it out of his car, right?
Yeah, he opens it like at a random line,
a bus stop, I think.
Yeah. Oh, you know another funny poor Ralph, right? He gets just so abused in that scene. Another funny line from Pacino's wife, and he's like, "I may be stoned on grass and Prozac, but you've been walking through our life dead, and I'll have to demean myself with Ralph just to get closer with you." Poor Ralph's just sitting there taking this abuse from this bickering couple. Like he's just like I just want to fuck up.
Well, they met on Tinder, right, in 1995.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I think that they mentioned that somewhere.
Yeah, Tinder.
I don't know. It's just funny. Dude, there's too much movie in this movie.
There's too much movie. At the
end. Okay, let's go to the end.
The end, you get closure, right?
Spoilers if we haven't already done it.
So De Niro, at one point, does tell him, he goes, "I'm never going back." And then coffee scene, he tells Pacino, "I'm never going back," you know. And at the end, he wasn't gonna give up. He wasn't gonna go back. Mm-hmm. So Pacino obviously has to put him down because remember he said like, he goes, "And you know, if it's between you or so dead, you know,
brother,
yeah, you're going down." Yeah, so he does. Like he promised him, and you know they both keep their promise. Pacino puts him down, and De Niro, he's not gonna go back to jail.
Right.
Yeah, he's done with it. You know, it's either he dies or he's.
And it is a cool like little like chess match at the end with a shootout. It's not a typical like shootout.
No. Mention what you said. Like one of your questions you had about that last scene. Why Pacino?
Okay. You know, I'm gonna move. Or let me go one step, a little back for a second. Mm-hmm. Okay, you know, in movies are like, oh, characters change, right? Yeah. So okay, do either one of them really change?
No,
they don't. No, they don't. No. In fact, there's a mutual friend of ours that they said, Pacino's character changed, then Nero's didn't. I go, no, neither one of them changed.
Neither one of them changed, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to hear this, but like, asshole. Um, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
is that like no, neither one of them change.
Yeah.
Like as far as unless I'm missing something, I go no, they're both the same person. That's what makes them. That's what makes the movie work. Is like
Yeah.
they're dedicated to not changing.
Yeah.
So at the end, it's like weird because not weird. It's just it works because
They
De
stuck to their.
De Niro needs revenge because who? Okay, this guy Wangro
Yeah.
fucked up everything.
He could-
He ruined everybody's
De Niro
life.
could have left. He would have been scot free. But
He ruined.
hears where Wango is at.
He got people killed. He ruined everybody's life.
Yeah.
Wangro.
Yeah. Because like I said, this
Yeah.
virus that came into their life.
Right.
Yeah.
And they put him. There's too many layers to go through it all. But they
Yeah,
put
yeah.
him in protection. He gives
Yeah.
people up. He's helping, working with the cops
Yeah.
to try to catch De Niro.
Yeah.
Okay, they got him up in a hotel room.
Yeah.
That De Niro makes the choice to come back and kill him, even though he can go back.
He
Even
could
though
go straight to the airport
He goes
with
straight to the
Edie.
airport. Go to
Edie
another.
Fiji,
Go to
yeah.
another country. He'll get away forever.
Yeah. He has all the money he needs. Yeah.
And then he decides, hell, you know what? Fucking this guy fucked up everything. I want to kill him.
Yeah.
And he can't get it out of it. He makes like a Dewey or whatever he does. Or
Yeah.
he turns off the freeway, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's a big mistake.
And at the end, when it's between it's between going back to Edie or making it
running,
away.
or running
He
away,
leaves her, he leaves her.
or saving himself.
Yeah. He leaves.
Yeah, he leaves.
Yeah. He leaves. When he spots the heater on the corner, he just takes off.
He didn't have those. He didn't have the 30 seconds or what is it? 30 seconds or less.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah, because he's like he sees Pacino. It's funny. Sometimes I think like that fire truck that gets in the way. I'm like, how big is that fire truck? It like threw him off for like a minute.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm like, how fast is De Niro really, or how slow is Pacino?
I love that running scene because it's clearly two stuntmen. these 50-year-old men at that point they're like 50, hitting 60.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly they can't do the running scene themselves. It's clearly a stuntman doing the
They're
running.
like, hey, we need you to
Like the film.
Hey, we need you to pee normally. It's like, oh, bring in the stuntman. It's
like they'll film them when they have to film their faces from like the chest up, but they never show them like running. And then when they have to show them full body running, like it's clearly the man looks like Tom Cruise with a wig, like the stuntman for Al Pacino.
I've never paid that close attention.
Pay attention next time when especially that scene in the hotel when they go and he's gonna go and talk to Van Zant's henchman, the snitch. And they shoot through the door.
Rollins?
Yeah, they shoot through the door. They're going to, Henry Rollins' character. And Pacino's stuntman runs to the room. It's clearly not Pacino. For like a good, I would say 5 seconds. You can see full face. There's no way Pacino's making those type of moves anymore.
Hey, we need you to sleep through the night without getting up 4 times to pee. It's like, bring in stuntman. But, no, it is funny that the same point that we were talking about earlier with because it is like Pacino's going after him. He's like, this is pre 9/11. You can just
you should go to the airport.
You can just go to the airport and jog through the fields.
Yeah.
And whatever the runway.
Yeah.
And they're going through the little. There's like crates, right? They're like blocking themselves behind crates.
Yeah. It's like
and it's like a little game of laser tag, but with big guns.
real guns. Yeah.
And they're trying to kill each other, and it's like.
And then a plane distracts De Niro.
Well, the plane. That's how he gets killed.
Yeah, the light. Yeah, the lights blind them. Yeah.
But they're also using the plane so they can use the sound to get around.
Yeah, to get around.
It's a really cool, little cat and mouse game.
Yeah. I think when I saw it initially, that scene didn't impress me as much, but I think it's impressed me over the years. Like, it's a very well.
It ages well.
Yeah, it ages really well.
Because you know what? It's like that movie. You couldn't make it today unless you took unless it took place back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting?
Because there's too much surveillance.
You know what's
These
interesting?
guys couldn't have gotten away with that shit.
You know what's
today.
interesting to connect a couple Michael Mann movies together? Like this movie starts on the subway, right? Like De Niro's character steps out of the subway and ends at the airport.
Okay.
It's like Collateral ends at a subway. Like Tom Cruise's
Oh,
character.
it starts at an airport. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
That's a nice little
Yeah.
little thing. A nice way to end this segment as well.
Yeah.
Heat. Obviously, me and you, we've probably talked about
One of the
Heat.
greatest movies ever made.
Probably talk about Heat at least once a month.
It's like our period.
Right? No, but we do. I think we did talk
About it for about 3, 4, 5 days. 4 or 5 days.
Right.
And we're in a bad mood the whole time. We're in a terrible, terrible mood. Don't talk to us when we're talking about Heat.
Right.
Leave us alone.
All right.
And sometimes we cry.
Our nipples
And we're
our nipples are sensitive.
We're unreasonable the whole time. Next segment.
But Heat, if you haven't watched it by now, hopefully you haven't been here. You didn't listen to this before you watched it. But and we're not ruining anything. I think it still works, even if you've never seen it.
I think Jim Gaffigan has a joke where he's like, remember that joke?
No.
He's like, do you ever see a movie and it's like, it's so old you're embarrassed to tell people?
Uh-huh.
I'm butchering the joke, but he's like, he does like a first person. He's like, I just saw Heat. And it was funny because this joke was decades ago. And it was like he was embarrassed back then.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it now, watch it. It was on Netflix. I don't think it is right.
Is it off?
Yeah, it's off.
Oh, you tried to watch it
Yeah,
recently?
no, I have the DVD.
I actually bought the Blu-ray this week. I was embarrassed I didn't have the Blu-ray. Like I had a DVD for the longest time.
How'd you walk around without that?
I know.
People didn't make fun of
I
you.
know. I felt really embarrassed.
I keep it in my pocket just in case.
You actually rented it off of Amazon.
I had to.
Yeah.
I had the DVD player. I didn't have the component cables.
But it's one of those movies, right? You never own it, but you always see it. Like you probably see it once a year, right?
I've seen it probably like 10, 12 times.
Really? I probably see it once a year.
I like how 10, 12 is like low to you. Oh, that's it.
Well, because I probably watch it once a year, if not more.
Well, it's like one of those things like in its entirety, like you'll see scenes.
Like I've seen it twice this year already. Like because I had to for this podcast, and I think I saw it earlier this year. But yeah, no, I probably do see it way too much, but
yeah, probably. That is great though.
Yeah, that's great. So highly recommended. So yeah, that's it for all-time favorite movie.
If you guys haven't seen it, watch it.
Yeah, go rent it.
If you like The Town, stop liking The Town. No, I'm just kidding. No, The Town's a good movie.
Let's end on a very quick note. And I mentioned
Chris Nolan.
Yeah, so there's just one scene that Christopher Nolan completely stole, and he stole a lot of stuff. And he said he was a big inspiration for Dark Knight.
Well, he did an interview with them.
Yeah. So, but there's one thing. There's a very subtle thing that he stole from Heat. So, do you remember the beginning of Dark Knight?
Is it the truck?
No.
Oh, but that's a big that truck. The truck coming, or with the armored truck.
Well, I guess you can say.
No, but it looks very similar too.
No. I mean, no. This is like shot for shot. Like it's very subtle, and I haven't really seen anybody really mention it. Beginning of Dark Knight, you know how like the camera opens and it's like on a big glass skyscraper, and he pushes in. And it's like
the beginning of Dark Knight with the Joker heist.
It's silent, and then
oh, okay.
So, or was it that? Yeah, Heat has a very similar. No, it's that. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. It's actually after the before the big highway chase scene. He's over the city and there's a fire. He pulls down the sound. There's no sound, and then
the highway. What highway chasing?
Like when they're trying to transport Harvey Dent.
Oh,
so there's this overhead shot and it's silent. Like he pulls down the sound all the way down. You can't hear anything, and then he pulls it up real quick, like very subtly. There's like a it's like a very subtle. Is either that or I can't remember. Is that or at the beginning? There's
the way they film those armored trucks though, it looks so similar.
But there's like a very subtle sound that he stole from Heat. There's a scene in Heat when they're gonna try to bust him for that platinum metal heist that De Niro doesn't go through because he hears like the cop bang his his gun on the side of the.
He just gets suspicious and he's smart enough to back off.
So that scene begins a very similar way. It's like this sound, like very. He pulls on the sound and he can hear it, and then it just and the sound just like. And then you start hearing sound. Loud. Yeah. So next time you see Dark Knight, like if you just saw Heat, try to rewatch that scene, and then rewatch. And the next time you rewatch Dark Knight, just keep that scene.
And they both have the Joker in them, and I thought that was weird.
They both have William Fichtner.
That is crazy. Yeah. They both use the same guy,
and he's sort of slimy in both of them. Like it's a slimy banker.
Yeah, it's like he still plays like it's this weird banker. Yeah. Like this weird crazy.
Maybe funny. It's the same character. He's just like moved to Gotham. Oh, he died. I guess this was a prequel then, right? Before he moved to L.A.
And let's not turn it into a conspiracy. Very good movie, very good stuff.
Very great movie.
You know what one more before we get off of it, real quick.
Okay.
Do you remember the scene? And it's not the same.
Remember the scene, John? Come on, really?
Okay, shut up. You've seen it. Yeah, I only see it in like 10, 12 times. That's it. Over the last 20-something years.
Which scene?
The one big scene. The Val Kilmer is going home, and Val Kilmer's the only one that gets away.
Yeah, he's the only
one that gets away.
Everybody gets killed.
Yeah, everybody else dies except Val Kilmer.
Yeah,
But remember, he's going back to Ashley Judd, his love of his life.
Yeah.
And she's there working.
The sun sets and rises with her, man.
Yeah. Yeah, she's there, and they call her out to the balcony to just, like, like wave him in. And she gives, like, a little subtle signal to go away.
Yeah.
They kind of do something similar in the town, but it's a little different with the chick and Ben Affleck.
Yeah, at the window.
Yeah, at the
right.
window.
You're
Yeah.
right.
And she says something on the phone. Yeah. And he's watching her, too.
Yeah, he's watching, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the difference is she's trying to get him caught.
Yep. I was going to say, it's not the same, but it's similar.
Yeah.
It is a little bit similar.
No, I mean, obviously, the town and Dark Knight took huge inspirations from Heat.
Yeah.
It's hard
she wants to give him up in the town.
Yeah.
Like in the other one, she doesn't want to give him up.
She doesn't give him
but they are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They're trying to like use the girl to bait a main criminal.
Yeah. No, Heat's been a. I mean, there hadn't already been a movie like that before it, and there's really not a movie like it after.
Nothing holds up like that.
Yeah.
Not really.
So moving on to the next segment, has a little bit to do with Heat, and I'll explain a little bit. So this next segment, John, it's a brand new segment. It's called Dewey Defeats Truman. Do you know the story behind that headline? Dewey defeats.
I wish you had told me this in advance, but I think I know it a little bit.
Okay.
I think the headline came out and it was inaccurate.
Exactly. So
like there's pictures of the newspaper.
It was an incorrect banner headline on the front page of the Chicago Daily Tribune, John, on November 3rd, 1948, the day after Harry S. Truman, the incumbent president, won. It was actually an upset victory over the Republican challenger. He was the governor of New York, Thomas E. Dewey. He was the favorite in the 1948 presidential election, and Truman beat him. Right. So the newspaper was confident that Dewey was going to win, that they printed with heavy confidence this headline, Dewey defeats Truman. And there's this famous picture of President Truman holding up that headline in triumph, you know?
Hashtag fake news.
So the reason I named this segment Dewey defeats Truman is we'll talk about some news stories that you heard the headline for, but maybe you don't know that much about it.
I heard Kevin Hart died. I'm just saying, no, but it really was like a thing.
Yeah, so something like that.
Yeah.
So
I know he's not dead.
For this week's topic for this segment, I want to talk about, John, have you ever heard of something called the North Hollywood Shootout?
North Hollywood. Were those the guys that kind of basically did like a Heat thing?
So that's
and they took some hardcore, like, just not hardcore, just like some benzodiazepine, like Xanax and stuff, just so they could just like, what did they end up doing? They just had like a big shootout, right?
So the North Hollywood Shootout.
I think they had a big shootout in North Hollywood.
Exactly. So it goes back to, a little bit of details, but you don't know the full story.
There's footage.
There's a lot of footage. Yeah, it's really like if you want to watch the footage, it's really crazy.
Is it graphic?
You see the shootout. I mean, the guys died.
I don't care. I'm just curious. It's not like Faces of Death.
No. It's like it's news footage, newspaper, the helicopter, news footage.
Remember that guy's still a tank?
Yeah.
I know it's unrelated, but it's still a funny story.
So the North Hollywood Shootout was two heavily armed and armored bank robbers. So they wrapped themselves in like just bulletproof vests. So the police were having a hard time. They're like, these guys aren't going down. They're shooting at them. So it's just because they armed. They covered themselves in body armor, right? So it was a guy named Larry Phillips Jr. and Emil Matasoranu.
I'm sure you said it right.
It was a shootout between them and members of the LAPD in the North Hollywood district of Los Angeles, California. And this happened on February 28th, 1997. A little bit, about 18 months after Heat was released. So it's very eerily similar to that last shootout scene in Heat. Where
did they both get killed?
So both robbers were killed, and 12 police officers and 8 civilians were injured. And numerous vehicles and other property were damaged or destroyed by the nearly 2,000 rounds of ammunition fired by both the robbers and the police. So essentially at 9:17 a.m. on that day, both Phillips and the other guy, Emil, entered and robbed the North Hollywood Bank of America branch. The two robbers were confronted by LAPD officers when they exited the bank.
They closed at 4 p.m.? It's ridiculous.
Well, they were open at this time, John. They were open at this time.
Yeah, I was just saying, who closes their bank at 4 p.m.? Bank of America.
America does, yeah, and that's
Like,
why
most
they're having issues. They've been having issues since the 90s, John.
Most
because
people,
of that.
I know these guys are probably like 4 p.m.
Yeah,
I'll show you.
exactly.
Because people don't even get out of work by 4. A lot of people.
So
You gotta be there before 4 p.m. I'm not saying I understand why they did it or they should have done, but I get 4 p.m. can piss people off. Yeah.
So they're confronted by police officers. They try to flee the scene.
4 p.m.
So Phillips was on foot, and Emil, he was their getaway driver. He got their getaway vehicle, and as he was trying to pick up the other guy, they were exchanging fire with the officers. They continued the shootout through a residential street adjacent to the bank until Phillips, the guy who was on foot, he was mortally wounded. He succumbed to he shot himself essentially, and then the other guy, the one driving the car, he was essentially they blew away his tires.
Cappuccino.
Yeah. And he bled to death from
Copenhagen.
So the only thing that they weren't covered in armor were their legs. So he got shot up in the legs, and they were. No, it's true.
I don't know. No. Someone's like, we should have done the legs.
so these guys, they were believed to have robbed at least 2 other banks using similar methods like this.
Why weren't those like well publicized though?
Because they didn't have a shootout with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they went in armed, but this time the cops were
exactly.
They met up with the cops.
Yeah. So and they were also suspects in 2 other armed car robberies. So it was after this that the cops were really underarmed. Like they didn't have the firepower to combat these guys.
Actually, I did read something a long time ago saying this literally changed like LAPD resources.
They had to go to local gun shops to get more powerful. They didn't have enough. These guys had way more powerful weapons than the LAPD.
And I'm saying like literally that's what I read. Like it's like we can't. We already know we're overmatched. We need more resources.
Yeah.
Which is very justifiable at that point.
Yeah.
And the Bank of America is like, we'll stay open until 4:30. No, it's still 4, guys. It's still 4 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Is it?
Yeah, unless it's a weekend. Unless they changed it recently. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure it's 4 p.m. everywhere, isn't it? Wouldn't it? I don't think it's just Central Time.
Every branch here in our South Texas region that we live in, of San Antonio, Texas, is where we're located.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're all 4 p.m. as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fact check that while you keep talking.
No, so yeah, I mean, it's in the aftermath, obviously there's a lot of controversy because
9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah, so there's a lot of controversy because these guys, they got their hands on these like military style semi-automatic rifles, and essentially the police department was ineffective. They were shooting with pistols and some shotguns, but the shotguns couldn't even penetrate the body armor that these guys were using. So it did change the way we started across the country arming police departments and SWAT teams as well.
Okay, so it wasn't just LAPD; it was the whole country.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure it's a trickle effect.
Yeah, exactly. One of the interesting things that came out of this, one of the children of one of the shooters, they filed they actually filed a lawsuit against members of the LAPD. This is what they claimed, that their father's civil rights had been violated, that he was allowed to bleed to death. The lawsuit actually was tried in the United States District Court in February and March of 2000, and it ended in a mistrial with a hung jury. It was the family later dropped the suit, and they agreed to dismiss the action with a waiver of malicious prosecution.
I like those fancy terms that just get people out of getting in trouble.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm not saying he deserved. I'm not taking a side. I'm just saying it's weird.
Yeah. No, that was a weird little aftermath. The year following the shootout, 18 officers of the LAPD received the Departmental Medal of Valor for their actions. They met with President Bill Clinton.
I have a few of those.
In 2000, they actually made a film about the incident.
I bought them off eBay.
In 2003, it's titled 44 Minutes, John, the North Hollywood Shootouts.
You seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's probably interesting.
Yeah.
You know, it was a good one. The Pizza Bomber one.
Oh, the documentary
On Netflix?
Yeah. Maybe we'll do one. We'll do a Dewey defeats Truman segment on that one sometime in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a little interesting tying story with Heat. They never came out and said, "Hey, we're inspired by Heat," but you can see a lot of like the eerily, similar, instances. They were both, semi-automatic weapons, just like the characters in the movie. They were, heavily armored. They had a very big shootout in L.A. too. That's what was crazy.
They protected their shins.
Yes.
If you look closely.
Going back to Heat, I think it was the Marines for a while. They would show the when at one point Val Kilmer has to reload his weapon in the middle of the shootout, and he does it. He does it really quickly.
He gets shot right in the neck.
Yeah, no, but he's reloading his weapon. He runs out of bullets. He gets down. He reloads his weapon really quickly.
He lets the old round fall, and then he grabs
the new one. Apparently, the Marine. I think it's the Marines in boot camp. They would show this video to their recruits, to their the guys coming in for boot camp, as the proper way to reload your weapon.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like this. Val Kilmer, like he's like been lauded. Like, this is how, if you want to, this is the most efficient way to reload your weapon. Like, this guy does. There's no wasted movement.
Or he's just like the laziest like boot camp guy. He's like,
I'll just put on Heat, right? Yeah, he's like the lazy teacher, right? Like we all had the teacher in school where they were hungover.
Yeah, was the John Mulaney joke?
Yeah.
Where he's like,
oh yeah, he had a teacher.
Yeah, he's like going out drinking with one of his teacher friends. He's like, don't you teach them? Or she's like, I'll just show a video.
It's like, that's that why they did it? Yeah.
Is that why teachers show videos?
Yeah. So yeah, that was the North Hollywood Shootout. A little bit more information if you've ever heard that headline.
Bing it. We always say Bing it over here.
Bing it, yes.
You don't know it? Bing it. You Bing it. You can Yahoo it. You can go. What's another good one?
What is another good one?
You can Ask Jeeves it. You can Alta Vista it. I think we covered them all. What's next?
Okay, John. So we're gonna end this week's podcast with a little game. I always like to end these podcasts with some games. This week we're gonna play a new game.
Okay.
So this game is a little game I like to call, and you're gonna be the contestant on this game show, John.
Really? I have no idea.
It's called this little game, new game. We never played this before. It's called Real Trump Tweet or Fake Drunk Trump Tweet. So I am gonna read you a tweet.
Yeah.
That is either a real tweet that our current president Donald Trump actually tweeted out, or it's a fake tweet that I made up by a fictitious drunk Trump.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So you got to guess whether this is really Trump, a real Trump tweet, or a fake drunk Trump tweet. And that's a little bit of a tongue twister.
It's either him or not him. I got you.
Exactly. Okay, first one. If Hillary Clinton can't satisfy her husband, what makes her think she can satisfy America? Was that real Trump or fake drunk Trump?
It sounds like real Trump.
You're right. That's really Trump. All right. Okay. Next one. All right, John. The concept of global warming was created by and for the Vietnamese in order to make U.S. manufacturing non-competitive.
That also sounds like real Trump.
That's drunk Trump. Oh. Okay, next one.
All right, 1-1.
All right.
I need a winning record here.
All right, next one. After Friday's Twilight release, I hope Robert Pattinson will not be seen in public with Kristen. She would cheat on him again.
I actually know this one.
Is this real Trump tweet or fake drunk Trump tweet?
This is real Trump.
It is real Trump.
I actually heard that one time.
Okay, this next one. I have never seen a thin person drinking Diet Coke. Is this real Trump or fake drunk Trump?
Because it's funny is because it could be before he's president, but that doesn't really make a difference. It could have just been him like a week ago. Real.
It is a real Trump.
What's my record?
You got everyone correct.
No, I missed one.
Oh no, you missed one. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
How many have you done?
Yeah, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm 3 and 1.
3 and 1. Okay. Okay, we'll do a couple more. Sadly, because President Obama has done such a poor job as president, you won't see another Democrat for generations. Is that a real Trump tweet or a drunk Trump tweet?
That sounds like real Trump.
It's drunk.
It's just like, it's not even outrageous, though.
I know.
It's like, you're just confusing me now. Okay, so 3 and 2.
Okay, so next one.
Is it a guy named Drunk Trump? Is that what
No. I'm making some of these up. Okay. Everyone knows I am right that Robert Pattinson should dump Kristen Stewart. In a couple years, he will thank me. Be smart, Robert. This is real Trump?
Going back to real Trump.
Yeah, it's real Trump.
What am I, 4 and what?
You're 4 and 2.
Okay. It's a good record on like an NFL Sunday.
Okay. If Obama resigns from office now, thereby doing a great service to the country, I will give him free lifetime rooms at Trump Hotel.
Fake.
Trump Tower, I'm sorry.
Fake.
Is this real Trump tweet?
Drunk.
Okay. Trump tweet. It's drunk. Trump
Okay.
tweet. It's a really tongue twister.
You know why?
Why?
He doesn't give away money.
Okay.
Or he doesn't give away stuff.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sorry, losers and haters, but my IQ is one of the highest, and you all know it. Please don't feel so stupid or insecure. It's not your fault. Is this real Trump or fake drunk Trump?
These weren't all on Twitter, right? These are just quotes.
No, these are all Twitter. If it's really him, this was a tweet that he sent out.
Say it again. One more time.
Sorry, losers and haters, but my IQ is one of the highest, and you all know it. Please don't feel so stupid or insecure. It's not your fault.
Drunk.
That's a real Trump tweet.
Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, 5 and 3.
You're 5 and 3. Okay.
Some of these are before president, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't say that they could have been an hour ago.
Okay. Add Ariana Huff is unattractive, both inside and out. I fully understand why her former husband left her for a man. He made a good decision. Is this real Trump tweet or a drunk Trump tweet?
I'm going to go with real.
It's real.
I'm 6 and 3.
You're 6 and 3, I think. Yeah. Okay.
Guys, we have no political affiliations here at the
No,
Malarkey Hour.
it's
just a fun thing to say because our president, whether you like it or not, says funny stuff sometimes.
Okay. We'll end with this last one. Okay. It's freezing and snowing in New York. We need global
Fake.
warming.
Okay. Oh.
This is real Trump tweet or fake drunk Trump tweet? It's freezing and snowing in New York. We need global warming.
Real. Final answer.
It is real. You end with a winner, John.
7 and 3.
You're 7 and 3.
Did you have 10?
Yeah, 10. 7 and 3.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, there you go. And to be fair, some of them, what I did is I just tweaked a little bit of a real tweet, so that sort of messed with it.
I added a pause.
No. I changed enough to it. It's not his real tweet. So that was brand new game. We may not play it again. We may play it again. I don't know. But
yeah.
I always like to end on a little game. It's fun. Did you have fun with that game, John? Did you enjoy it?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
Hopefully our audience enjoyed it more than you did, John.
I wanted to go 10 and 0. That's why I didn't have fun.
Next time we'll put some money down. We'll make it really interesting. Next time, me and John, we'll start betting $20 each.
You're gonna change like one word.
No, we'll do another game. So that's it, John, for this week's episode. I hope you had fun. I had fun.
That was fun.
It was a lot of fun. We talked about Heat.
We mentioned Heat for like a minute.
We mentioned Heat for a minute. We talked about, a shootout. And then we talked about the greatest president of all time, Donald J. Trump.
You have your opinions. I have mine. It doesn't matter.
So.
Again, no official political opinions here on the Malarkey Hour.
We will end our show with that. You want to say goodbye to all our fans, John?
Goodbye, guys.
And goodbye from me too. Bye bye.